I'm here now with Mick, winner of the Rás Tailteann, Ireland's greatest race in 1958. And Mick is going to tell us a bit about his life. So the first question I want to ask you, Mick, is, as we're here in your house in Sugrue, is where were you born and what year?
I was born in the 28th of the 1st, 1934. I was born in that house there, below the graveyard. There's no roof on it now. And we moved, I can remember moving into this house. I was 6 years old and my father saying, I can hear him now, the war is on. And from then on, I was 6 years old, and a year later I received my first communion. And my mother, in the morning, I wandered back to my neighbour Joe Burke.
Yes.
Mrs. Burke.
Just over the road here from the Sugrue graveyard.
Yes, the other side of the graveyard. And Joe Burke, he was a strong man. He used to deal with the secretaries. He tied me onto the top of a 30-foot ladder, and he was walking around the yard with me and his chin. And my mother appeared, and there was an awful row between his mother and my mother, but she gave me ninepence. And that finished the fight. Money was awful scarce at them times, and I had that the money I went in to see my first communion the next day.
That was a lot that time, of course.
An awful lot there. So, but Joe Burke, from then on, he was my instigator and trainer.
And were there more of you in the family? Had you brothers and sisters?
I had a brother. He was a year older, and he ran away and joined the Cistercians. The religious order in Mourne Abbey in Waterford. No, not in Mourne Abbey, in
Mount Melbury.
Mount Melbury. And he was there a year, and I opened the door here. He was about 17 years now. And he ran away from Mount Melbury and came back, but he was sick. He wasn't right. But on the way back, he mentioned Mourne Abbey for the news used to be trained in Mallow, County Cork, that he's still there. And he died a year later.
He was quite young when he died, so...
Oh, he was only about 17, and I was 16. And he was an awful loss to me, because in the old house, you've seen out the road where I was born, I had a boxing club there. And now I was shot as sparring partner. And the other sparring partner was Sean Sheen, the captain. He won later. You remember Mick Smith?
Yes.
His wife, he was her brother.
And you said you moved into this house in
1940, when the war started. And I can remember me now, sitting down there, 6 years old, saying, the war is on.
Is that right, yeah. And you were always interested in athletics, were you? And
I was taking a heap of minds together. I started awful young in athletics. And Joe Buck was a travelling showman. That him that was travelling, one of them was Paddy McCann from Skibbereen, Butty Sugrue was one.
Yes, Killorglin strong man.
He used to perform in the streets at fair days and carnivals. But he appeared, I see him, he left a tractor drive over his chest in that town there.
In Carsavine.
In the street. And how much he got? Collecting money, 30 shillings.
I got it.
And the dance hall in Carsavine, he appeared and he put a bloke sitting in a chair, and he cut the back room with his teeth, and he was the boss went to the famous footballer, and he walked down Carsavine, danced out with him.
Is that right?
He was having showman as well before he went in the circus.
So you know Butty from quite a young age, did you?
I knew Butty from quite a young age. I see him, the tractor go over his chest, and he's still spoken about.
Oh, it is. He was very well. We'll come on to that, but I want to ask you now about your career in cycling. When did you get interested in cycling?
I got interested in cycling. I was an ordinary guy now, but I was on bodybuilding courses. I got them from the circus people. They gave me addresses for to send them. And I was coached, one was Al Murray of Scotland. The rest was copied his techniques
Yes.
in his system. I got, by post, I got a book on weightlifting from him. And Charles started Mr. Universe. I got it by post. I was doing training, and then the secretary people taught me how to walk on my hands, juggle, and a lot of powerlifting and all that. And when I took up, I was a footballer now and a boxer. But I was, I was 20 years old, 1954. I had my first cyclist with a common bike in Portmagee Regatta, and I was an ordinary guy. I only went in for the crack, and I won by about a mile.
So you know that you had a gift really for the cycling.
I was trained with weightlifting and acrobatics before I say. So I was an exceptional. See, and I didn't know I was so great. I won, and from then on, in every carnivals and shows, there was, you get 30 bob for you get 30 shillings for a cycle race with a common bike.
If you won the race.
And you get a pound for a second. And I won about 12 or 15 races.
And of course that was worth a lot to you.
It was done, the old wasn't big money then.
Money was tight.
But it was done all over Kerry. But we were found out, now when we were real cyclists, you'd be suspended over taking money. And Paddy Fitzgerald's brother Tom, he's dead now, he died last year. He did the same thing, and he was suspended, and he found it a big joke later in life. I used to talk to him about it.
Now, you won the Rás Tailteann, which of course is Ireland's greatest cycle race in 1958. Tell us about that.
I was racing with a common bike in 55 and 56, getting 30 bob. I was only a runner as well. I got about 20 or 30 races. And now I decided to go for big time in 1957. And in 1956, I should travel out to Killorglin and that to camp to Lee and cycle with a common bike. In 1956, I finished with a common bike behind Paddy Fitzgerald and Tommy Collins and Barry McGarrick, I finished third behind him. And in my one I won again. I know I got second again. And in 1957 I decided I'd go. The month of 1957 I started full-time training, and I bought a bike. The bike I bought was from Mick Galway, the uncle of
the rugby player.
Of the rugby player now. And for £10 in Ballymakerrigan Sports. And now in Rás Tailteann riding I was doing 1957. It was unbeatable. I shook Kerry. And now in 1958, now I was thrown out of home in 1958 because my parents didn't know what I was doing. Because cyclism they didn't know anything about it.
It was unknown really about that time.
And that time all over Ireland. Mangavel, you could leave them to go to the Mangavel, they went away to Dublin. But things are awful, backward.
That's Gene, of course, that won the Rás himself.
See, they were more advanced, because they traveled to Dublin. But
joint clubs there.
But around Kerry, see, it was just starting out. And money was awful scarce.
And where did you go when you were put out?
I'm describing the book The Rás as a sport feed. A landless peasant from the southwest corner of Ireland who hired out the landless peasants for sport feeds at the hiring fairs at Castleline, Newcastle West, to the rich farmers of Limerick and North Cork.
Yes.
And I headed for Cork, and I was hired out there by a farmer.
And you were still training with your bike at this stage, were you?
I was.
Yes.
I started training with a common bike. And now I would, after the God would give me the bike, I had a bike now, and I was working in Bantier. And with farmers. And I made my own gym in Bantier. I had such a belief in weight training. I'm recording, and two of us came down 2-3 years ago from from Bantier and what's the name of the place to go over the border here? Mill Street.
Mill Street.
They came, they're here, like you now. They'd like to meet them, and I'm recorded still in Bantier.
Now, what about the grass tracks? They did a famous one in Cork, didn't they?
In Bantier.
Yes.
It was made of cinders.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most advanced. But all the grass tracks were grass. There was nothing all over Ireland. Killorglin. I rode in Milltown. I rode a common bike. I rode in Milltown. And all three was grass track riding. That was the big thing. Jim Mangan, that's why he won most of his Irish titles. Jim Mangan in the grass tracks.
So you went into the 1958 Ross well prepared training wise.
I was, but I was still a novice. I was only cycling a year to get me. And I cycled in Milltown, and I won two and around there as well. But Charlie Shea Beaufort beat me, and it's about 4 years ago. I was in the Castlevine here. A bloke waiting from a can came out. He said, "'Twas I gave him the bike." He said, in Milltown, with the covered bike. His name was Reardon.
Yes.
And he's working in the hospital, something back in Castlevine.
And what was the reaction to you after winning the Rás Tailteann?
The reaction was fierce. They had a big celebration in Castlevine. A big we were taken on the stage, and we were taken into Tralee. In the back of a big lorry, and Polly Fitz's mother, she was a rebel woman, She just talked, very popular, and she walked me around. I was so delighted because I was lost. And when we came down here, 3 days after the agricultural show was in Castlevine, and they got a pipe band down from Mill Street.
For you.
And they gave me a big celebration.
And how did your mother and father react to your win?
I don't think they knew what I done.
Yes.
Don't forget, see, and on Killorglin, the people didn't know much about it, you get me?
Yes, there were different times.
There were different times, because, oh yes, I didn't know that about cycling around in the grass tracks, you get me? Inside the grass tracks, like. But still, it was new. It was only...
It was a no experience at the time.
It was a massive thing, see, the people didn't realise how, they didn't like how massive it was.
Now, of course, shortly after that, you immigrated to England, didn't you?
I rode in 3 races.
Yeah, what years? You won in
58, 59 and 60.
Yes.
And I finished third in 1960. But the truth about it was I could have won all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that was only, it was new, that's in Castlevine, Bonham, the money was so scarce, he had to phone his, she had to phone her mother, this lady, someone to drive the car, and she had the price of the phone a street away. Money was awful scarce.
It was. Now,
it was 10 pence a pint for a pint of Guinness.
Back then. Did you immigrate so in 1960?
In 1960.
And you had to go looking for work. Work was tight.
Well, I still working in Cork, and I could have joined 2 clubs in Cork. But I don't know why I done it. I still don't know. Mm-hmm. You get me? My mind wasn't cycling no more.
And did you cycle at all when you immigrated to England?
No.
Never cycled?
Yes, I won training, yes. I won training from Finsbury Park out to a place called Weir and Cambridge. And I had a crash, a car hit me, but it didn't hurt me. And the guy that wasn't hurted, he said, "Don't go to the police," he said. I was a spare bike, my bike was wrecked. I was a new bike at home, and he was home. Oh, he drove me up to his home, on the corner, and gave me a bike. And I carried that in my back and came back to Finsbury Park. I have 2 bikes now. The bike there, because my wasn't badly done. But I wasn't interested no more.
You weren't wrestling after that, so in England, is
I
it?
was wrestling. I was on Kerry Radio 3 weeks ago. Did you hear me?
I missed that. No, I didn't hear that.
Did you hear
Were you talking about your wrestling?
You hear it was on?
No, I missed that. I must listen to that again now.
Do you know that professional wrestling is a fake? Do you know that?
Yes. They say that it's only all gimping, is it?
Well, it's great crack, like, but it's a fake. I was a real wrestler. I was a real wrestler.
And where did you train over in the wrestling? What club were you in?
There was the fastest club. There were about 20 clubs there. Do you ever see the rank films?
Yes.
The blood strikes the gong.
Yeah. Oh, was it the start, just before the film starts? Yeah.
He was the best wrestler. The first one was Bombay and Billy Wells, the boxer. But he was the last one to do it. He was the best wrestler.
Who was he?
Ken Richmond.
He was an Englishman, is that?
Yes.
And you met Butty Sugrue over in England?
I was a great friend. Butty Sugrue was he don't know much about Butty either, you know. That time, nobody knows that.
Yeah.
His father died young, and he went away to Dublin. He ran away to Dublin, and he said that he was 18 years old to join, and he was only 16 to join the army. But he done more. He joined the Workers weightlifting club, and he was a real weightlifter. Do you get me?
Yes.
He showed me that himself personally. Do you get me?
Did you ever see him pull the bus?
I saw him pull the bus, and he was and two mates of mine. They were British champion weightlifters. They were black men, big, twice as big as what he, and they challenged him, and they said to me personally, "The devil beat us." He said he destroyed us. They couldn't believe he was so strong.
Really?
So he was one of the greatest in
and
the
he
world.
pulled the buses with his teeth.
Up through Tailteann in Kilburn.
No, I get it, yeah.
But we always said he died youngish. That friend, but he died at one the same. We used to go to his pub, the Wellington, and he had the best of the chase. See, they were saying but he was a millionaire and all that. But he was spending an awful lot of money in entertainment. Do you get me? He had the best pub in England, and but they haven't that about him in England. He's been on television. He's Jack Doyle. I know Jack Doyle well.
What kind of a character was Jack Doyle?
Fantastic, a great singer. Do you see that photograph there on the wall? Me and my mate cycled about 1948, I was 51, to Killorglin to see Jack Doyle wrestle Butty Sugrue.
That was 1953. Cup Fair 1953.
Me and my mate cycled there. Yeah. And you see that photograph you gave me there?
Yes.
I saw that exactly. And you know the dance hall in Killorglin out the Raw Road. But he was, I was talking about he had a lovely, not Butty, but Doyle and Butty together, and Doyle had a lovely jacket on him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But they made a mistake there. What I didn't know till a long time after was that was organised by one of the biggest sporting organisations in the world.
Yes.
Butty organised it all, and they had it about a quarter of a mile outside the town, and nobody knew it was on. And they held in the town and then didn't make much money. Do you get me?
It was badly advertised.
No, the advertising was great. But if the people didn't know where it was, if they had it in the middle of the book fair, they'd have, see?
Because they were both well-known personalities.
But for I didn't know it a long time after, it was organised by the biggest sporting organisation in the world. But the mistake they made was they had to be outside the town.
Yes. It would be better if they had it in the Fairfield or the Fairgreen.
They'd have made a fortune.
They would.
But I knew Butty well, and he always offered me a job to work in the bar.
You were very fond of him.
Oh, you know, he always, but I knew more about Butty than a lot of the people in England.
Yes.
I remember he started off in a pub in Camden Town, down below Camden Town, and he's the Mother Redcap.
Yes.
You get me? And he was managing that pub, and he had the weights and all there. So I knew more about Butty than anybody.
And what did you think of him bringing Muhammad Ali back to Dublin in 1972?
But he helped in that. He was sponsored by McCarthy. That was organised well by a world class organisation. You get me? And they didn't make much money in it because you see the money that cost and give play you'd have to cost. They had to give a lot of the money out. You get me? But that was a massive thing as well.
It was to bring the world champion to Ireland, you know. potential world champion.
But there was 2 minutes. That was organised again. And he put there the man under the ground in England.
Mike Meany from Tipperary.
Yes. But that was organised again. I didn't know till long time by a world organisation. To get me? To get me now. So, but he was wanted in television by in England. He made a comeback, and he died shortly after.
Were you surprised when you heard he died in 1977?
We were shocked. But see, he was 51 and he made a comeback.
53 when he died.
And he was lifting massive weights again, to get me.
Yeah.
Even people said it to me. Is he overdoing it? And he was. But his wife was in Dublin. But he toured Ireland with Duffy Circus.
Yeah.
Challenging people to lift weight. And from him came Britain's strongest man, mates of mine. One of them told after with Alan Crosley, who was the name from out of Ireland. He was he left behind a string of champions. People don't realise that, know that either.
Okay, that's very good. Now I want to, how many years in total did you give in England yourself?
I got 28.
28.
And 12 in Germany.
Was that, did you go to Germany afterwards?
I went to Germany. I went to England in 1960. I went to England in 1960. In 1972 I went to Germany. I was there for till 1980.
And what were you doing in Germany?
I learned to be a bricklayer. I was a hot carrier in England. But that was a secret of being a bricklayer. And from there I learned to be a bricklayer.
And did you enjoy your time in Germany?
We had a mighty time there.
Yeah. What part of Germany did you go to?
All over. We worked all over. We built Germany. So the made about it overseas, over then.
I did, yeah.
And that was all through. The crack, the boys drinking in the pubs and the cracks, eh?
And did you live on the sites?
Oh no, hotels, cheap, hotels were awful cheap in Germany.
And you came back from Germany in 1980, you said, is that?
No, I came back from Germany. The West, the Germany was divided then. And there were 200,000 go all year to Germany from England. And I flew from Ireland like myself. We did Germany from end to end. But and now the communists in 1988, the communists came down.
The wall.
And we were in again, building the east. And I was there. I was there from to about 1995.
And did you learn anything of the language?
Very little, but I didn't need to have it. All the young people in Germany could speak English.
And why did you come back to England afterwards again?
I was too old.
Yes.
I was too old to get me.
And you came back to London after that, did you?
I came back to London about 1993 or 4. I came back to, and then I had a bad accident. I was working in London now, again, and it was 3 months off my pension age.
Yes.
And I crashed and had a bad crash off a building.
Did you? You fell off a building, is that?
Yes. And after I shocked him, I broke 3 ribs, 4 ribs, one fractured, but I punched him over the collapse. I was on the way out, and I shocked him. I walked out to hospital in 11 days.
Really, yeah.
And then he came back here.
And did you decide to come home at that stage after your accident?
Yes.
And you moved back here to the old home?
I got to have it. I moved back to the old home.
And did you find it hard to settle back after all your years away?
No, because I say they asked me now for any going to town, but I have awful happy memories of here now. I should walk up that hill there, never run up, and run around the top for an hour.
This is a hill here across from your home?
Up top that hill there, you can see out the window there.
Yeah.
And when I went, when I went to work in England, when I was, they found a pathway a foot deep. I'd worn it down running, and they thought it was a cycle track.
Really, yeah.
See, I had happy memories of my training here.
You seem to be very content in yourself with your memories. You have a lot of visitors, of course.
I have a lot of visitors, see, but what people don't realise is us athletes, we're different. What we don't change our mind completely, to get me. Because I said in the papers one time when I won the Rás the day after in the paper the following week, that I left the rest of the competitors in their own words dumbfounded. Do you get me?
Yes.
Because they said they had a county streak in me, but I still got from my father and all. If a bloke threatened me, and I thought I'd beat him, I wouldn't touch him. I'd only laugh with him. Do you get me? And the bloke said to me, "Oh, you stupid man," he said, "you live in on the post first." But I took him, but they said I was cowardly going down mountains. Yeah, I was never cowardly. But if there was a heap of them going down a mountain together, I still long way behind it for safety. But if they got a clear road, I should leave them far behind. Do you get me? And they couldn't make it out, They couldn't. I had my own system.
Would you watch the Tour de France every year now?
Yes.
You'd be interested in
that? And you know the beautiful thing about the Tour de France? The man that won it, do you know where he was born?
Who's this? The man that won it for the first time, is that?
The English man. No, it was the English man 2 years ago.
Yes.
What's his name? I forget it. He was born in Kilburn.
Is that right?
The Irish Centre. And there was a cycling track in Kilburn, in Caldron Vale. So there's no smoke without fire.
Absolutely.
I was so delighted, to get me.
Now, one of the tricks you could do as a young man, you would tell me, is you could walk on your hands.
I could walk on my hands a mile.
Yeah, and you could go up and down a ladder, you said?
I could up and down the ladder. And I could swing a tie ladder up about 30, 40 foot and walk across it. You get me? But I couldn't somersault.
No.
I had weaknesses as well, and the certain people to say I'd be found dead. But I could walk down from a field down to up to the mountain there.
You were with Duffy Circus, was it?
Yes, I was staying with Duffy Circus.
They're with the quarters were in Dunman, were?
That's right, yes, they had there. And I was going to visit for the Rás. And I was going to telephone them. I had their telephone number that would they sponsor me and send me around the Rás.
Yes.
And I went looking for them. I heard that I was in Cork now. I had that pass. And I went to them as far as at Galway. I heard they were only gone and returned. And I was seeing, and the ones out there were cycling the Rás for training the wrong way around.